Welcome to your practice. This is Nikyta. I'm here to offer you a 3-part practice. First part will be guided meditation and some yogic breathing. Second part will be very gentle, all levels, stretching, what I like to call systems check, which is about joint mobility and fluidity in the body, just getting everything online and ready for whatever you might be doing in your life. And the third part is guided relaxation and savasana, also known as yoga nidra. So you're welcome to do the entire series. It's about a 45-minute practice, or you're welcome to do it in any part that serves you. So maybe you need just the meditation and the breathing to calm yourself, to quiet your nervous system. Maybe you're pretty calm and ready and you just need the asana practice. Or maybe what you really need is the guided relaxation and the yoga nidra, the deep relaxation, yogic sleep. So you're welcome to do this in any combination that you'd like. So let's begin. Go ahead and find your way to a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you, whether that's in a chair or on the earth or on a blanket or bolster. And just go ahead and feel free to bring your hands into your lap or any gesture that is helpful for you to release your shoulders so that the shoulder blades slide down and on the back. And that your breath can move deeply in, unobstructed, that you're sitting tall. Long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. Let any tension slide off of the body, letting yourself really drop into this present moment. Take a moment to notice your breath, the ease of the inhale, the gentleness of the exhale. Begin to notice the sensations in your body. What's happening in exactly this moment, and where, and how much. So start to get specific, and if movement is helpful for you to tune into your body a little bit better, you're welcome to move in any direction. As you're just really tuning in to the instrument of your body, like you are tuning a musical instrument. Also take a moment to check in with your emotional body. How is your mood? How's your heart? What are you feeling right now? And just notice what's there. Like physical tension in the body, if there's anything that's not serving you that you can let go of, this is a great time to do that. So if you have anxieties or worries or things that need to be done that are in the mind or in the heart, see if you can just set them outside the door, set them outside of your practice space, so you can just have a little time and space to replenish yourself so that your heart can be full, aware, and alive. You can be of more service when you come back to those things, if you even need to come back. Go ahead and take several long, slow breaths into the heart space, as if sweeping clear and clean the heart. And then let's move into the mind, the mental body. And just notice how your mind is in this moment. Busy, slow, distracted, present, peaceful. So just feel into the mind and see what's happening. As I like to say, the mind noticing the mind. And you're just beckoning forward that observer part of your mind, the witness, that just notices what is happening without any blame or judgment or critique. It's just there to observe. And so this is the part that you can really call on as we move into our practice, to really be present with you. So that if you notice, oh, I'm thinking, I'm planning what's going to happen next, or I'm processing what happened in the day, you can just notice, I'm thinking, come back to the breath. Planning, come back to the breath, come back to the physical sensation in this present moment. And let the past and the future take care of themselves, so that you can just really be here. So really welcoming that witnessing in the mind. And sweeping clear, or again, setting outside the room any preoccupations of the mind that might still feel like they need your attention. Just set them outside the door. Set them outside your practice space. And then go ahead and bring a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Let your belly soften and open. And feel the breath as it begins in the belly and rises into the chest. And then exhale, feel the chest release and the breath release all the way down into the belly. So inviting our yogic 3-part breath, feeling the belly open and fill, feeling the solar plexus open, feeling the chest rise and fill with breath. And then exhaling, letting the chest release first, and the diaphragm, and the belly. And we're going to continue right there. Belly, diaphragm, chest. Exhaling, chest, diaphragm, belly. As you continue to breathe, you might notice that you're not just a front body, but you also have a side body. So as you fill up with breath, really feel the side body opening. As you exhale, feeling that side body slowly just soften back. Take several more cycles of breath, really feeling the side body open. And the side body gently release. You're welcome to keep hand on belly and chest, or bring the hands back into the lap. And really begin to notice now your back body. So if you're seated at a chair and there is something touching your back, like the seat back of your chair, you might nestle into it a little more. If at any point you'd like to recline in this meditation and bring yourself to your back, that's also an excellent way to notice your back body and your breath. You're also welcome to do so. Or if you're seated, just beginning to notice the fabric of your clothing as it touches your back. Feeling that inhale as the breath expands your back body. And then feeling that exhale as the back body gently softens. Take several more cycles of breath, feeling the back body expand with the inhale. Exhale, slowly release. On your next cycle of breath, really feeling the back body as it starts in the lower part of the back with the inhale, lower part of the ribs, and then as you exhale, feeling it all the way up to the top of the ribs and the back body. Exhale as you slowly release. And now putting it all together, feeling this 3-dimensionality of your torso. And you can imagine that your torso is just empty and open and available for breath. So go ahead and inhale as if you're filling up from the bottom, front, side, and back, filling all the way up to the top. And then exhaling from the top all the way back down to the bottom again. You can also imagine you're breathing in a color or an image or a sensation or feeling that might be helpful for you. So you're filling up the in-breath and then exhale as you slowly release on the out-breath. Try just 3 more of these yogic 3-part breaths. In Sanskrit, they call this Dirgham Swastya. Filling all the way up. Exhale, releasing all the way down. One more slow cycle of breath, inhaling. And then exhaling all the breath out. Go ahead and bring the hands back into the lap. You're welcome to soften or close the eyes once more. And just notice the effect of that slow and complete breath. Notice the effect on the body, on the heart, the emotional body, the mind, the mental body, maybe even the spirit, the spiritual body. And then feeling just like that 3-part breath is integrated into one single breath. Feeling those parts of yourself, your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit, all integrating into a single whole. Single, integrated, and complete being that you are. And then you might ask yourself, what might be a helpful intention? Or if you have a devotional nature, what might be a prayer or a dedication that you might like to offer or to focus on? Maybe for your day or your evening, maybe for your week, maybe just for this practice. Let's go ahead and bring the hands in prayer over the heart and just seal in that intention so that you can move mindfully from your own highest good. So see if a word or a phrase appears as your focus or your intention. And we'll breathe it in and then we'll breathe out with the sound of one Om. So taking a long deep breath in. Go ahead and tilt the chin forward. Begin to softly open the eyes and bring the hands back into the lap. If you're just doing the guided meditation and yogic breathing, this is a good place to stop. If you'd like to continue, we're going to move into systems check, our asana practice. If you're wearing socks, you're welcome to take your socks off now. And if you're seated in a chair, we're going to be coming to standing, so you're welcome to just push the chair off to the side. If you're seated on a blanket or a bolster, you can move that blanket or bolster off to the side. And let's go ahead and come to standing. So letting yourself rise up. Letting the shoulders roll back and down. Taking several long, slow cycles of breath to feel your feet under you. And let yourself stretch and move in any direction that feels good. Shaking off any of those parts that might have felt like they got a little taxed or tired from our seated meditation. Just moving and wiggling, waking everything up. Take one more slow breath for yourself. And then gently come into Tadasana, into standing mountain pose. So for some of us, that's going to be with feet open, hip width apart. For some others, we might come into the traditional expression, which is big toes together, heels slightly apart, toes fanned out, and you're standing tall, standing in your power. And so just take a moment or two to find yourself rooted from your feet, but rising upward, crown of your head stretching towards sky. And feeling your ears drawing back over your shoulders, shoulders over the hips, hips over the feet, standing tall, standing in good alignment and in your power. Take a moment, place a hand on the belly, and a hand on the chest. And just feel that integration of breath and alignment. One more of those yogic 3-part breaths, breathing into belly, diaphragm, chest, exhaling chest, diaphragm, belly. And let's keep those long, slow breaths online as we continue to move now into our, what I call systems check, into some joint mobility opening. And let's start with the hands. So begin to roll around from the wrists, rolling the fingers, moving around, move the other way. So it's like you're just oiling the hinges on all these joints of your body with the circular motion. Let's go ahead and come into the elbows, move the elbows around, moving those forearms in circles, maybe circling in one direction, and then slowly circling the other way. Let's let hands come onto shoulder heads and then begin circling around from the elbows now. So making wide circles with the elbows, moving the shoulder heads all the way around. And then feel free to reverse direction, going the other way. Rolling all the way around. If you like to fly the arms open now in big circles with the arms straight now. Moving in one direction, feeling yourself just stretching out, opening up from the shoulders, and then going in the opposite direction, rolling back. Big stretch. One more full breath. And then gently coming back into center. From here, let's bring the chin into the chest and just start some gentle circles of the head, rolling the head around. And I should mention that if at any point you'd like to sit down for these arms and shoulders and head circles, you're also welcome to do that. Go ahead and roll the other way, releasing the head, releasing the neck, and coming all the way back into center. We're going to keep the feet open, so hip width apart. We're going to begin rolling up and down the spine. So as you're ready, you might soften or bend the chin into the chest and then begin rolling down one vertebra at a time slowly as you come into a hanging forward bend. You can also do this seated. If you're seated in a chair, just leaning forward, taking a slow, deep breath here. And then inhale, roll up the spine, one vertebra at a time, gently rise up. You might fly the arms open, bring them overhead, and then exhale, bring hands down alongside the body. Take a slow breath here in your Tadasana, your mountain pose, to breathe in that yogic 3-part breath, belly, diaphragm, chest, exhaling chest, diaphragm, belly. Let's inhale, fly the arms open, and then exhale, dive forward and down. Come into your hanging forward bend for just a breath or two. And then rolling up the spine, one vertebra at a time, slowly rising up, fly the arms open, bring them up in prayer overhead, and then exhale, bring your prayer and your intention right back to the forefront of your mind as you bring your hands in prayer at the heart. Let's try twice more. So you're just welcoming the day, or perhaps finding a breath in the day. Exhale as you fold forward, or maybe you're welcoming the evening and the quieting of the body. Let yourself hang forward and down. Relax the back of the head. Shake the head out, no. Shake the head out, yes. Take a breath or two more here. And then softening the knees, beginning to roll up the spine, one vertebra at a time, gently. Fly the arms open, bring them all the way up in prayer overhead, and then bring your intention right back into the heart. So we're helping just get a little more elasticity for the spine. Let's go ahead and lower the hands down. If you need to balance, you're welcome to hold onto a chair or a wall. If you need a little help for your balance, we're going to begin rolling that right ankle around. So maybe the left hand on the left hip as you roll that ankle. You're also getting that benefit of the knee and the hip rolling. You can bring both hands to the hips if that's helpful for you. Take one or two more breaths going in both directions with your circling. One direction and then the other. Take one more slow breath for yourself. And then come on down, switch sides. That other ankle, knee, and hip all gets a roll around here. You can make this as small or as large as is helpful for your body. One more full deep breath. And then gently come all the way back into center. Release the arms down. We're going to begin lifting and lowering the knees here, and you're also welcome to do this seated, so you can just be lifting one knee and lowering down that foot and then switching. So just warming up those hips. One more easy full prance, so it's a high knee lift, switching sides, so lifting the knee on one side, bringing the foot down, switching the weight over, lifting the knee on the other side, coming back in. From here, let's go ahead and lift up that right knee low, maybe the right toes on the earth, medium, the toe lifts a little higher off the earth, or high, drawing that right knee into the chest. And just take a few breaths, maybe even rotate that ankle one more time in both directions. And then you can stay here if your balance allows, bringing that left hand to the left hip or to a chair or a wall. And we'll just move that leg around in the hip socket. So just a little bit of balance in motion here. One more full breath just to wake up the hips. Let's go ahead and exhale, release that leg down, second side. So again, small, medium, or high lift. If you have the high lift, perhaps both hands hug onto that left knee now, bringing it into the chest as you're standing or seated, and then you're rolling the ankle around of that left ankle. You're welcome to stay there with the balance, or right hand to the right hip and begin rolling that hip around, gently moving it. You can also just do it without the hand moving the leg. You can use your hip flexor to just let that hip roll around in the joint. One more breath. Going in both directions. And then go ahead and replace that leg down. Roll, move, wiggle, anything that you might need to. And then let's place feet on the earth and just roll around from the hips. So taking a slow, easy breath as you begin to warm up the hips and side body. We worked with the side body in our breath work, but now getting a little stretch and opening for side body. Go ahead and roll the other way. And come all the way back into center. Let's begin bending and straightening the knees. So bending and gently straightening. So you're just warming up the knees or continuing to warm the knees here. If lateral movement is not appropriate for your knees, go ahead and just continue bending and straightening. If circling is appropriate for your knees, you're going to bend the knees slightly and then make some circles with the knees, rolling them around. And then go ahead and roll the other way. And go ahead and stop rolling and straighten up the legs. Fly open the arms, stretch up. Bring the feet together or close toward each other if they're not already. And just open up the side body. Stretch into your crescent moon shape. So coming perhaps over to the left. Drawing the shoulder blades down and on the back so you can really feel like they're like wings that are settling down on your back. Inhale as you come on back up and into center. Exhale now, moving over to the right. That whole left side body spins open, opening up side body. Inhale as you come all the way up. And then we're going to exhale and dive forward and down, coming into your hanging forward bend one more time. Relax the head, relax the heart. Take one more slow, sweet breath. We're going to go ahead and come down to seated. So if you're in a chair, you're just sitting down in a chair. If you're seated on a blanket or a bolster, you're welcome to regain that blanket or bolster on your mat or wherever you're seated. So either way. And let's go ahead and stretch out the legs. So this is a vinyasa practice without the vinyasas, or without the chaturangas, I should say, in downward dogs. So vinyasa just means moving with breath. But in this particular gentle version, we're not doing as many of the push-ups or the downward dogs. We'll get to that in in another practice. So go ahead and flex your big toes back evenly with your pinky toes. Stretch out the legs. Take a long breath. And then inhale, stretch out the arms. Bring them up. And then exhale, come over to that left side one more time, seated triangle pose, stretching that top arm over your ear so that you're in a side bend and you're opening up that right side body towards sky. Top arm is stretching over the ear in a deep side bend, bottom hand touching the earth, maybe the elbow is bending. Take one more full long breath here. And then inhale, come all the way up. Replace that right hand on the earth. Take the left arm up and over the ear and side bend over to the left. Seated triangle, Upavishta Trikonasana. Maybe you're bending that bottom elbow. Maybe even the forearm can come to the earth as you stretch. Both sit bones want to stay solidly on your mat or your chair. And by the way, if you're doing this in a chair, you can be holding onto the seat of the chair or even have a block underneath your hand, so where my hand is touching the earth, you'd have a block. Take one more full breath. And then inhale, come all the way up, release both hands down, and just roll the shoulders one more time. Take a long, slow, easy breath. We're going to take the hands and lace them behind your back, and then inhale, lift the chest, roll up. Take a long, slow breath here. And then exhale, release the hands, bring them all the way up overhead. And then we're going to exhale, fold forward and down. So maybe your hands just walk on either side of your legs and stop anywhere that your hamstrings and back say stop. Maybe you hold onto your knees, your shins, your ankles, your feet, beyond your feet as you move into Paschimottanasana, full forward bend. For friends who are seated, you can just simply fold forward in your forward bend while seated. Maybe your chest comes toward or onto your thighs. And if it's appropriate for your head and neck to release completely, if you don't have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you might just really soften the head, neck, and shoulders down. Take 2 more slow breaths here. And one more slow, long cycle of breath. And then inhale, slowly roll up to seated. We're going to move into a twist. So twisting that right hand to the outside of the left thigh, twisting back behind you, turning your gaze back behind you, taking a long, slow, sweet breath. And then exhale, come back into center and just twist the other way. Long, slow, full breath. When you're ready, gently come on back into center. We're going to do that twist one more time, but you can see if that felt like it was enough for your body, or if you are seated on the earth, you're welcome to bend that left knee, and we're going to bring right hand to hug onto that left knee, option 1. Option 2 is you can bring that foot across the straight leg, so crossing that left ankle across the right leg, holding on with the right hand, so opposite hand to opposite knee, as you gently twist back behind you. People who are seated in a chair, you're welcome to put a block underneath your foot, drawing that knee up gently for a little seated twist on the chair. So take some long, slow, sweet breaths here. One more full breath. And exhale slowly, untwist, come on back into center. Let's stretch out both legs or bring both feet back to the earth if you're in a chair, and bending the other knee, coming in. So this is seated half deer pose or Ardha Matsyendrasana in its variations. So option 1 is left hand to that right knee. Option 2 might be stack that or cross that right ankle over the left thigh, so that you have a little deeper twist here as you begin to twist back behind you, just wringing any tension out of the spine, helping really replenish the nervous system. Take 1 or 2 more slow, deep breaths as you just wring out the spine. One more full breath. We'll exhale, gently untwist, unstack those legs, stretch them both out. We're coming onto the back, so if you are watching, you're welcome to watch first, and then we'll come down onto the back and I'll lead you through. So we're moving into some bridge poses, into one more reclining twist, and then we'll move into shavasana. So this is a very basic practice today, really intended to just be an overall easeful, gentle time for your body. So if you want to add in more complex variations for things, or you'd like to stop the video and add something in, and then join us again at bridge pose and reclining twists, you're welcome to do that as well. So to just watch for just a moment, we're going to come down into bridge pose. I'm just going to show you from the slight side here. So feet are open, hip width apart. If you have anything behind the back of your head, go ahead and bring it away so that the back of your head is long in line with your spine and that there's nothing obstructing your ability to lift your hips. And then lift your hips as they rise up. Wiggle the shoulders underneath the body. Option 1, hands stay on the earth. Option 2, you can walk the hands in toward each other, lace the hands together, and then lift up. Try not to move your head in any direction here. Just keep the nose looking straight up towards sky. That's why it's important to make sure that you removed anything from the back of the head, like a pillow or ponytail or anything that might be interfering with your neck's ability to stretch. And you'll notice that as you lift hips, you'll really get a nice opening into the chest and the shoulders. Take one more breath here in bridge pose, and then we'll exhale and come on down. So let's do that together. Maybe you already did it with me. If you haven't yet, go ahead and come on down to your back. Bring your feet open, hip width apart. Make sure that your feet are tracking with your knees, which track with your hips. Head looking straight up towards sky, making sure nothing is behind the back of the neck. And when you're ready, inhale, push into the feet, wiggle the shoulders underneath the body, lace the hands together. Perhaps another option is perhaps holding onto ankles, or even sliding your fingers underneath your heels is another option. As you use the power of the thighs to really lift up, the chin comes toward the chest is open, diaphragm is open, belly is lifted towards sky, hips lifting. One more full breath. Release the hands out from under the body, slowly walk the shoulders out, roll down, one vertebra at a time. Gently come on down, draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a little rock side to side. I'm going to do just a tiny gentle hip opener here before our reclining spinal twist. So the bottoms of your feet are going to come together, knees open wide in this pose of receptivity, of receiving, this reclining or Supta Baddha Konasana. And so just take some breaths to let yourself receive. Maybe come back to your intention, what you might be focused on, what you might like to receive out of life or in your practice. Take one more slow, sweet breath. And if this pose feels really good, like, oh, it's just so nice to let your hips open, feel free to stay here and skip the last twist. If you feel like, I could use one more twist, go ahead and use your hands to draw your knees back into your chest. And take just a moment here to maybe rock the hips a little side to side, release the low back. You're also welcome to roll the head side to side, maybe opposite from the knees, just to release the neck. If your low back feels really tight, you can bring feet back to the earth. We're going to stretch the arms out in this big eagle wingspan, and then slowly drop the knees over to the right. If it feels more life-enhancing for you to draw your knees into your chest, you're welcome to do that, and then drop knees over to the right. Head rolls to the left in your spinal twist. And just breathing here, long, slow, sweet breaths. One more slow, sweet breath. And then inhale, bring the knees and the head back into center. Exhale as you begin to twist the other way, rolling head opposite from the knees. If you have any favorite variations of your reclining spinal twist, you're welcome to do those. Might take several more slow breaths here. And then inhale, let knees come back into center. Draw the knees into the chest. This is a great time if you have socks or a warm layer to add. We're moving into Shavasana. So if you need to get a warm layer, you're welcome to roll to one side, get your socks or your sweatshirt or whatever you might need. If you like some support for your low back, you're welcome to take your blanket and bring it underneath the back of your knees, or even cover yourself up with a blanket. We're moving now into Shavasana and our Yoga Nidra, our deep guided meditation. So if you are leaving us off here, this is a great place. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. If you are moving in, you're welcome to just settle all the way in now and let yourself recline. I'm going to stay seated so that you can hear me a little better. So go ahead and find your way all the way to your back. Or if you're seated, nestle yourself in a chair. You can always do seated Shavasana as well. Once more, bring your attention back to your breath. Slow, deep inhale. And slow, long exhale. If you're reclining, you can really feel your back body now. Begin moving that breath into the back body. Feeling those low parts of your ribs push into the earth, or maybe your chair, your seat back. As your breath rises, feeling the upper back as it pushes ever so slightly and subtly into the earth or into the chair. Exhale as you slowly release. So in the yogic imagery, the back body is the place where spirit enters. It's the place we can't see. It is the place where all these unseen allies support us. So as you're here reclining and being supported by this huge ally, the earth, you might just allow your breath to deepen. Allow that feeling of being supported to really wash over you in your breath. Perhaps taking a moment to think of all the unseen or maybe known and unknown allies who are working on your behalf all the time. Could be as simple as the trees and the plants around you. How they're constantly filtering the air that you breathe, this breath that you're taking in now. And how the generosity of your out-breath goes to feed them. And they take in your out-breath and transform it back into what your body breathes, oxygen, on the in-breath. Whole ecosystems are working on our behalf for our health and well-being, and we are part of those systems. So for just a moment or two, feel that porous line where your body melts into the bigger body of Earth. Become a little more porous. And if there's any tension remaining in your body or your mind or your heart, we're going to let that porous nature of your body and the bigger body of Earth just offer that energy of tension, thought, feeling. Just offer it back to the earth as a gift. It's just energy. And if you feel like you need support, grounding, presence, holding, nourishing. You might gently, as if absorbing nutrients from the earth like plants' roots do, draw in that nourishment from that supportive ground under you through the back body. Feeling that deep inhale fill you up with breath, vitality, prana. Feeling the exhale as it empties you out. Stress, tension, concerns, worries, all emptying out back to earth. And of course, you're not just a back body, but you're also a side body, a front body, an internal body. So letting yourself really continue this process of nourishing, taking in the in-breath to all parts of your being. And that really gentle release on the out-breath, that emptying out. I'd love to welcome you to continue this process. And we'll move into one of the most deeply nourishing places for the nervous system, which is silence. The nervous system loves silence, stillness, darkness, quiet, calm. So if you'd like, and you haven't already, you're welcome to turn or dim the lights. I'm going to leave my lights on. Really, or maybe you place an eye pillow over the eyes. But really, you're just turning into that deep inner quiet so that your nervous system might be completely at peace and at rest. And we'll be here for the next 4 or 5 minutes in this deep, nourishing silence. At the end of that time, I'll be calling you back with a bell. So go ahead and enter in now to that deep quiet, releasing all thoughts, feelings, sensations, tensions. And just moving into the deep womb of quiet. So letting the sound of the bell really bring you into your breath. Enjoying your slow, deep in-breath. And enjoying your slow, deep out-breath. And just feeling all of this nourishing, quiet, stillness, warmth, and ease into your whole system so that it can really replenish and rejuvenate your nervous system, your mind, your body, your heart. If you're reclining, you're welcome to begin wiggling your fingers and your toes and gently rolling over to one side. If you're seated, you might just wiggle fingers and toes. And then pushing yourself gently back up to seated again. Let's one more time meet in Anjali Mudra, so letting the hands come in prayer and gratitude over the heart. And taking just a moment to soften or close the eyes once more and find that intention or that prayer that you offered at the beginning of your practice. Seeing if you'd like to leave it here, if it might serve you to take it with you out into your day or your evening, your week. And taking a moment to just bow inwardly to yourself for taking the time to focus on your self-care in your practice. Bowing to that internal intention. And thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. Many blessings to you.